Welcome to WrestleMom's Basement, week of March 12th, 2018. 4-patch Great American Bash 2008 review. I'm Joe, and to the left of me is the All-American Diva, Pat Young.
Yes. Do you just say that because you knew Michelle McCool was on the pay-per-view?
Yes.
Okay, then. Do you want to get your spiel first, or should I go straight into the pay-per-view?
Before he starts rambling,
Yes.
Thank you. We broke 6,075 views, I believe it was.
Yes.
On YouTube.
Yes.
And over 6,000 followers on Twitter sometime in the last week.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, that means the world to us.
And
honestly.
we always knew that this would happen this quick.
Did you actually ever think we would get a single view?
I believed.
By looking at the thumbnails of our own videos,
I would.
I would not.
Why? They're different. They're not the.
You guys have kind hearts, and
They're
I
not,
guess like what we're saying.
They're not the same old picture of a wrestler that we're talking about in the video.
There's one where I'm straight up just like
that stuff is so played out. Like, I'm gonna pull a picture of the wrestler and one of the main topics. No, boring. People want to get to know the real you, not some fake you that's hiding behind a Roman Reigns or John Cena, AJ Styles. They talk about AJ video. People want to know you. Like in the most recent upload for the SmackDown Live 205 Live and NXT reviews, the screenshot is literally Pat going like this, and me going like this. What's odd about that is I don't remember sitting like that on Friday night, but it happens.
you probably caught it. It probably got a quick thing. You're just like.
But what happened is that, and so thank you for that. I always believed in it. Clearly he didn't, but that's okay. This is way faster than I expected.
Yes.
Granted, but I figured we would have been one of the top wrestling podcasts in 2 years or so. Let's just happen soon. So thank you for that.
Thank you again.
I'm not Mize. Thank you.
Yes.
But I believed in it. Oh, and to the 2 new subscribers too, thank you.
Yes.
And funny stories, Isaiah wants to take a picture with them. 2 hot wrestling podcasters.
Yes.
Well, who could blame him? We're kind of becoming...
Executive producer Isaiah Beale.
Well, we're kind of becoming sort of big. Here's what we thought. If he takes a picture of us, this brings his career higher. Just to clarify. Because he could brag that he knows us. I mean, we could brag we know him, but not... Well, who would do that? So anyway, go ahead.
Well, anyway, let's get the...
I promised him a shout out, so he got an insult instead. It's a regular Thursday night.
Let's get a production note out first, too, because we're going to be filming...
on Saturday morning, live, from Wrestling Mom's Basement's new headquarters.
It's the same as the old one. We're sitting in it.
But it's the headquarters, yeah, not basement.
Oh, it becomes the headquarters.
Right, and basement.
Okay.
So you get 2 for 1 special. And that will be on Saturday, March 24th. And then, who knows, maybe I'll talk to a certain owner of an indie show we're going to that night. And maybe I'll be hooking up in the future.
Yes.
Because you know me, the king of networking. Okay.
Well, anyway,
Yes, it worked the first time.
Let's get to it, because we're about 28 minutes from Raw. And
yeah, we'll get to your point. Let's go. You let me do a talk.
well, you just keep on rambling about how you're.
I'm kind of good
master
of networking. Yes,
networker.
And with WWE and with House of Hardcore, don't you worry, Ring of Honor, New Japan. I'm coming for you next.
well, anyway.
We should get to your point.
Here comes my review of Great American Bash 2000.
Oh, your review. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be on this show.
My punishment review for losing
Because
at Fastlane.
I don't want to call it punishment. It wasn't that bad of punishment.
No, it wasn't. Great American Bash 2008 was on July 20th, 2008.
The only reason I know that is that's 2 years. That's 2 days before our first wrestling show together.
Yes, it is.
That's how I do the date. I go with dates.
The location is the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York, which doesn't even exist anymore.
I think that maybe one of the last pay-per-views held there.
I think they would hold one more.
That's why I said one off.
Yes. And attendance was 12,454. It's sort of an interesting time period. Typically, with pay-per-views right before the main show, it's not necessarily more thought out. It's more or less just a means to an end. But let's see if this show's any different. This show will be headlined by Edge versus Triple H. It is just after Edge's wedding to Vicky Guerrero, which Triple H crashed and revealed that Edge had an affair with Alicia Fox, who was the wedding planner of that wedding. Yes, it was an interesting time if you weren't a fan back then. The first match...
Well, don't make it sound like banned, just to clarify. It was very good.
Well, no. It's an interesting note that Alicia Fox had an affair with Edge.
If you weren't a fan 10 years ago, just to clarify.
I think the night before Edge's wedding.
So if you weren't
to Vicky Guerrero.
Just to clarify, if you weren't a fan before 10 years ago, it was a very good angle.
It was a pretty good angle, yes.
It was a very good angle.
Alright, well anyway. The commentators are brand specific, Jim Ross and Mick Foley for SmackDown, Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler for Raw, and Taz and Mike Adamle for ECW. I think one of the few pay-per-views Mike Adamle calls. Alright, so let's get into the first match. It is for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. It is The Miz and John Morrison, who are champions, versus Finlay and Hornswoggle, versus Jesse and Festus, versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
Their tag divisions on that good.
Yeah, minus Miz and Morrison and Kurt Hawkins and Zack. There's only one person of each team that I actually do like. I'm not a big fan of Hornswoggle comedy, and the other one's Luke Gallows, while the other one's Jesse, who would become Slam Master Jay.
A year later.
Who some would say that would be a career upswing.
It was, because it was funny.
Well, anyway, the finish of this match was, I believe Jesse had Zack, or I believe he had Zack about ready to pull him up. He was on the second rope, and Kurt Hawkins distracted him, and Zack swooped his leg off. Jesse thuds to the mat, and Zack Ryder gets the pin. It wasn't really... Oh, it was okay for what it was, essentially. There really wasn't much thought planned into the tag divisions. Literally the best team in this match had a web show series where no one really knew what they were doing. They would just do things and put it on WWE.com. That is actually a fact. But other than that, there wasn't really an emphasis put on tag team wrestling, which is a shame, because they did have some notable tag teams. Like, you could have gotten a good feud out of Legacy and Miz and Morrison.
No.
Although I don't know who would have been the face there, but whatever. But getting back to the match, yeah, it was fine for what it was, but it didn't necessarily mean much to me. The action was fine. I don't regret watching it, but you won't remember it in probably a few days. I ended up giving the match C-. The next match is for the U.S. title. Matt Hardy was champion at the time versus Shelton Benjamin. The finish was Matt was going for a moonsault and got blocked with Shelton's knees. And Shelton would take advantage and hit the pay dirt, which would be running reverse STO for the win.
A lot of many cars had him lose on a period.
Yeah. The match was going pretty good. Parts of it were a tad sloppy. I'll probably say most of it was on Shelton. However, the match was a step up from the previous. And I feel like they at least tried to do they at least try to do more exciting things. I probably would have actually made this one the opening.
Mm-hmm.
But again, not a bad match. I think I ended up giving it a B-.
It's one of 3 matches I remember from this show.
Yeah. Matt would go on to feud for and eventually gain the ECW title. Matt had already been drafted to ECW at this point.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like in
and
the US.
Shelton would go on to lose it to... a very good question.
MVP.
MVP.
Right.
That's right. He would hold it till like around WrestleMania, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Then MVP got moved over to Raw the following year. Yeah.
Again, not a bad match. Just a little sloppy. The next match for the ECW Championship, it is Mark Henry versus Tommy Dreamer.
Newly announced Hall of Famer.
Newly announced Hall of Famer Mark Henry. Mark Henry is accompanied by Tony Atlas, and Tommy Dreamer is accompanied by Colin Delaney. It's sort of a 2008 version of James Ellsworth, just a lot less over.
Colin Delaney did make his return a few months ago.
Yeah, he
on
did.
SmackDown. Did lose to the Bludgeon Brothers. And on 205 Live.
Yes.
So, congratulations to him.
I'm just trying to find the finish of the match here.
Colin's blatant turn on Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
And Henry hit the splash.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it happened.
Okay.
The review of match, getting my match from, I agree with the first statement. It was a really boring match. Unfortunately, though, it didn't feel like it lasted long, so it got out of the way pretty quickly. And fortunately for the ECW title, something a little bit more interesting would happen down the road besides a Colin Delaney heel turn and I guess the lack of chemistry between Tommy Dreamer and Mark Henry.
This is actually when I actually started liking Mark Henry.
Yeah.
To clarify. I wasn't really a big fan of his until 2008.
Yeah.
Besides Sexual Chocolate. But other than that, it took me 8 years to like him.
Yeah.
Really technical, like 11 years, but I'll let it slide. 2011.
Yeah, when I started caring about Mark Henry was like
the feud with Matt.
The next couple months.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I really became a big fan from his part 2011.
Yeah.
So.
Tommy Dreamer would still be hold fast with ECW for the next 2 years or so before
he
ECW.
Left I think the last ECW in 2009. Yeah. To Zack Ryder.
Yeah, he would be the hold fast until that point. Colin Delaney would be on the next ECW because I think I remember seeing him.
Yes, he was.
And then I think that would be about it.
Yeah, I think Drew was short knows it.
Yeah, and Colin Delaney would not be heard from until this year.
Yeah.
Where he would job out to the Bludgeon Brothers.
And 205 and Hideo Itami.
Yes. The next match is Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, and to recap this awesome feud, and yes, it's really awesome feud.
I'll play Shawn Michaels there.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels and it actually weirdly started off with Shawn Michaels starting off with a feud with Dave Bautista.
Which honestly, this feud actually started right before then, when Shawn Michaels retired before.
Okay, fine. It
started off with Batista lists.
Yeah. It started off with Shawn Michaels retiring Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24.
One of my favorite matches of all time.
Yes.
Tune in 3 weeks.
Then Batista takes severe offense that Michaels did that to his mentor and I guess father figure, Ric Flair. I forgot how Jericho entered in as the special guest referee. Into that though.
Yeah, Jericho entered into a special guest referee. Continue.
There was a reason why he was entered into it, but it's not all that important because the real hook for Jericho being so against Shawn Michaels is the fact that during his first match with Batista in 2008, Shawn would actually feign an injury and get the advantage off of feigning an injury. Which Jericho would go for a couple weeks saying that he thinks Shawn's a liar and all this stuff.
And then Shawn beat him at Judgment Day, Jericho.
Yeah.
In another underrated match.
Yeah, and then Jericho says, "No, what? I believe you. You are hurt." And then Shawn completely lets the cat out of the bag, going, "Trust me when I tell you, I'm not hurt."
Right, and then I super kicked Jericho.
Yeah, and then he would super kick me.
And then I just throw for his screen. What about you?
Yeah.
Throw me for his screen.
Triple H. Shawn Michaels would go on to have a stretcher match with
Batista.
With Batista.
That one night stand.
Yeah. Which Batista would win, and Chris Jericho would I believe like taunt or like try to get Shawn to push Batista off or something to that effect. But the real start and real ignition point for this feud was Jericho thought Shawn was a liar and would bring him onto the highlight reel one day and throw Shawn's head into a TV.
No.
Into the Geritron.
Yeah, but you used the screen so they could get the feel.
Okay.
Thank you. Kind of like what Owen said to Jericho last year with the Festival of Friendship. This isn't an ODQ match, right?
No, it is not.
No, it just turned into one.
Essentially,
it just got brutal.
It got very, very brutal.
Yeah. Like my eye was cut.
Yeah. So,
Not
with the background I've given you, Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels actually ends in it actually ends in a forfeit by Shawn Michaels. Just because Jericho, and also with the help of Lance Cade too, just a little side part in their feud. Lance Cade was actually Shawn's student. Chris Jericho would actually viciously attack the eye that he shoved into the Geritron 3000, actually, I think it was at this point. But he would keep on attacking it. It would get really bloody. Shawn was practically a bloody mess. The commentators did tease it a whole bunch of times that the referee is probably going to have to stop this match. The referee is going to stop this match. He has to stop this match. Eventually, he would do it, and Shawn would literally be like literally a pulp at the end, bloody as a pulp in this match. It was good storytelling, and I guess it's a good bridge between what would happen for the feud. They're excellent match. Probably not too many know about it in Judgment Day 2008. To
No Mercy 2008.
To No Mercy 2008.
With their ladder match,
yeah.
which will be on my favorite match list of all time.
Probably will be for me too.
It definitely is on mine.
I haven't ordered anything. I've just pulled up a bunch of great matches from each year, and I can tell you that one's already on it.
Mine's is already on the list. Where will Wayne? I don't know. I'll tell you this: it's on the list.
Anyway,
this is my favorite match from the show.
Well, anyway, it was a great beating. You could probably consider it more of a angle than you do a match, but still, it was very great storytelling from both of them.
Match that night.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I did that.
However, the fun thing, or the interesting thing to note about this, is that this would actually be the turning point for WWE in their use of blood. Where beforehand they could bleed themselves, they can cut themselves, they add blood to a match to make it a little bit more effective. This time, after this match, no.
They want officially PG.
Yeah. Because Shawn was just a bloody mess. Okay, so we got some history in the next part.
Could you give us your grade for your match that night?
Okay.
I'm not sure if your match that night is my match that night.
I gave the grade an A-.
Okay, was that your
just
match that night?
Yeah. Just because it, probably not on the match itself, but just what it led to, and it's probably one of my favorite feuds of all time. The next match is Michelle McCool versus Natalya. for the first ever Divas Championship.
How I missed the...
For an inaugural Divas Championship.
How I missed the...
Yes.
The Divas title. Not Michelle. Not Michelle.
And the interesting note is probably the best face and heel pairing they probably had at the time.
Well, SmackDown.
Yeah.
Well,
Michelle would clearly be the best face. And Natalia, it would either be Natalia or Victoria.
yeah, well, because Michelle's the only one I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. Cherry. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway.
Cherry was hot. Cherry wasn't that big.
Yeah, she wasn't.
Maurice slapped her. I mean, Cherry slapped her.
Well, anyway.
That was good times.
As for the first ever Divas Championship, the finish came with
Michelle.
Yeah, Natalia hooks the sharpshooter, but Michelle gets to the ropes and counters into her heel hook finish, which she had at the time, which Natalia would tap. Not the best effort to start off with the first ever title match. However, it's a giant pink butterfly. If you're recent fans of WWE, like say after WrestleMania 32, you'll probably have no idea what I'm talking about. You can look up Divas Championship,
and you'll be wondering why don't we have that now?
It was a unique belt. I'll give it that.
It made you feel more empowered.
And I felt the women did a decent effort for it. If this had been probably more like in 2011, which I believe they would have a match in 2011 between Michelle and Natalia, I believe it would be a much better match. Just because I think Michelle had progressed a great deal to that point. But this one I think was worth a secret.
I always liked Michelle.
Alright, just after the match, Chris Jericho would come out and say that Shawn had injured his retina really badly, where he actually now has to retire for good.
Which would only do SummerSlam with his wife Rebecca getting knocked out. I don't know what to.
Okay, so the next match, it would be for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk versus Dave versus, for some reason everybody say Dave.
He's on Hollywood.
Versus Batista. Yes. This came about when Punk actually cashed in his first ever Money in the Bank Championship against Edge. I guess who was sort of visiting Raw that night.
Why was he on Raw?
I think it was to take JR to SmackDown. I believe was the reason.
That sounds a lot more dirty than it should.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He does mock JR.
However, it would be off of an advantage of Batista coming out and destroying Edge, who actually, because he lost the championship match they had the night before, so Batista would want the World Heavyweight Championship, but CM Punk cashed in the briefcase. Which Batista now would probably think it's his.
Sorry, Ronda was actually announced for Raw. I just had to point it on her.
I did think
Raw was odd.
I did think this was a pretty good match.
Seriously, they were odd.
The finish sort of messes up, and I'll get into it.
Raw was odd at this point.
Yeah.
My stomach was a jerk. It was an odd show. It wasn't very odd.
Yeah. I thought it was going pretty well. It probably was going to be the actual best wrestled match of the night. Wrestled meaning you could kind of consider Jericho and Shawn Michaels an angle, almost. It was more just physical storytelling there.
Jericho and Angle.
No, Jericho and Angle.
Jericho and
Shawn. Jericho and Shawn.
We had WWE versus TNA before.
Yeah, but I thought that this was on the way to being the best wrestled match of the night until the finish happened. In which Kane, who was going crazy in this time period,
with a mask and stack.
Yeah, with what would end up being Rey Mysterio's mask and a burlap sack.
She rolls on.
Yes.
This time.
However, this is not important to this pay-per-view. Kane would come out.
But Kane to have the sack, right?
Yeah,
okay.
would come out and destroy both of them, causing a double disqualification.
Huh?
Yeah. And then he would walk away, talking about the mask or whatever.
I honestly thought it was his mask.
I thought he was dead and just walked.
I thought it was his mask that he was talking about, his old mask.
And the last image you get of Batista and Punk is Batista bombing Punk. I
honestly thought it was Kane's mask he was sold at the time, because that would actually made sense.
Yes.
I didn't know Ray was dead, he just got dragged to the row.
So for me, the ending kind of hurt it. I thought the action was better than I remembered it at first.
I'm going to have to go back and watch it. I don't remember this match. Amazingly.
However, I thought, for me, the ending hurt it a great deal. Probably not a great deal, but much less than what it should have gotten. I ended up giving it a B-. Alright, so the next match...
Sure, so Sean Jerk was the best thing to happen.
Is John Cena versus John Bradshaw Layfield in a New York parking lot brawl.
Told you roll was on.
Yes.
Alright, enough said.
Yeah.
Right.
I could get into this a bit more, but I kind of don't want to. I know. I'll say this. At some point, JBL tried to run Cena over with a car. In a weirdly shot segment, which could have actually been open-ended that he actually ran him over, but I digress. We get to this match. They start obviously in the backstage area. JBL, I believe Cena almost runs over JBL. JBL tries to light the car on fire at one point with Cena inside.
This car's on fire.
Cena rams a forklift into the side of a car JBL was in, and then he lifts it up and brings it out to the arena. Obviously, what happened backstage was probably pre-taped, but whatever. Then JBL gets in the car. Cena and JBL start fighting on the ramp, and Cena goes to AA's. JBL off the stage through the hood or the windshield. But JBL fights out of it and shoves Cena through the windshield and picks up the win off a pinfall. It was kind of muddled. If you're looking for a brawl, it wasn't bad. It may have been entertaining to some people, but for me, it didn't really do much. I wouldn't necessarily fail it, but I won't say, hey, this is probably the best thing WWE has pre-taped ever.
I'm not even sure if I would rate
it. Yeah. This guy's review I'm getting notes off of didn't even grade it.
Up.
But to be fair to other matches, since I graded it a match I consider more of an angle, I decided to grade it and I gave it a C+.
Wow.
Probably more than I should have given it, but.
We would long disagreed on this pay-per-view by now.
But whatever.
No match we love brutal and Sean Jarrett and Matt Shelton.
Anyway, for some reason he put the SmackDown World title, but the WWE Championship, for some reason Triple H was carrying the spinner belt at the time, but I digress. Triple H, who is the champion obviously, versus Edge. Short background, I already gave. Triple H ruined Edge's wedding by revealing that he slept with Alicia Fox.
The wedding planner, not the wrestler.
Who would become both.
Right. But at this point, the wedding planner, she was hot then, too.
Yeah, she was.
She's hot. Bobby. It's a wedding planner. Hello, those glasses.
The weird thing is, though, I think she actually got a breast reduction over time.
She did!
If you go back and watch it, you can tell that she's smaller in that area.
Well, I asked someone we didn't real.
But
did you get a breast reduction
since
anyway,
2008? I digress.
Well, she was a model at the time. You know, signed 2 years old.
It was a good match.
Duh.
It ended with Vicky Guerrero getting into the ring and arguing with Edge. Alicia Fox would then run in, who I guess was still wants Edge. She still wants that married man.
Who can blame her?
Yes. She and Alicia Fox would get into a scrap together. I guess it annoyed Edge so much that he would just end up trying to spear. I believe Alicia was in front, so I'm going to guess he tried to spear her. But she and the ref got out of the way, who was holding both, and he ended up spearing Vicky. Off of this distraction, Triple H would hit the pedigree in for the win. This match would actually go on to have Vicky reinstate The Undertaker, who had lost the Loser Leaves Town TLC match the month before. Or, I'm sorry, 2 months before.
Which then led to an awesome Hell in a Cell match.
Underrated Hell in a Cell, in my opinion.
My third favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Or second.
Yeah, this was it was a good match. But I think, like, if you look at the grand history of Triple H's matches or the grand history of Edge's matches,
It doesn't rank high.
yeah, this is more like forgettable ones. It's more or less, oh yeah, that happened.
It was a good match, though.
Yeah.
It's one for match.
I ended up giving it a B.
I know it's been a while doing it.
Yeah.
Great.
My overall grade for the pay-per-view, I ended up giving it a B. It was a fine pay-per-view. I don't regret watching it. But it's sort of middle of the road, and it's probably one you'll more or less forget about if it wasn't for Michaels and Jericho's match. So, kind of one of the more forgettable ones, but all in all, not a bad time.
Right. Also, I picked it on for it.
Yes.
Although for this week's edition, we'll be back on Saturday with Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT 205 Live, and Backlash 2000.
Yes.
Reviews.
All right.
We'll see you then.
We'll see you then.
Bye.